Hi guys, today was my second round final interview at Accenture. It says final interview, but for me it was managerial round. It was skilled interview again. And these were the questions I have noted down. It was a bit tricky yet answerable. So they have asked me about the self-introduction at the first, and they have started asking on Java 8 questions and Spring Boot annotation questions. And after when I answered all the annotations, they started asking what is the difference between @component and @service annotation. Do we get any error if we replace service with component? Then she has asked me on the configuration, what does it do? It will help us to create a bean definition creation. It will help us. And when does those beans get loaded? So we have to explain lazy and eager. Then she started asking me on questions on Java 8. So she wanted to execute the multiple tasks parallelly, how we can do it. So I have explained how we can synchronize them with the synchronous keyword, or else if we do not want threads, then we can do it using parallel stream. So you have to research more about this. You can do executor submit also, executor service also you can use. So go through the multi-threading concept more clearly. Then she has asked me how we can render an image in this Spring Boot. So we can render it using the files, like we can place the files in our C drive, and we can return a byte array. So in the get mapping, what we can call is, we can call this path and we can get this image. And then she started asking me microservice architecture. So I have mentioned controller, service and repository layer. Then she asked me what is repository and how you are extending, whether it's a CRUD or JPA. So I have mentioned JPA. Then she asked why we can't use CRUD because it has already 4 methods which are required for us. But the thing is, JPA will provide more features than CRUD. And also it will help us to write the native queries. Query annotation JPA will provide custom queries we can write using JPA. Then she asked if that is the case, how can we connect it to database in the backend. So I have explained about the application dot properties and YML, how we have to provide username, URL, password. Then we can fetch it, we can connect it to entity @entity annotation. We can provide ID, generated type, whatever required things, then we can connect easily. So then she have asked how we can take only 10 rows of data if we are already fetching 1000 rows using query. So there is no query change, but she is asking how we can limit those to users in UI. So I have mentioned pagination. She again asked me to go through it thoroughly once again after the interview. Then she has asked me if the employee number is not present, then how can I directly return instead of hitting controller. So I mentioned we can add validation in the authentication filter in the API gateway itself. So for our request can return from there itself instead of hitting get mapping or post mapping, whatever the API is. Then she asked how can role-wise access be implemented in a Spring Boot application. So I have mentioned about this security configuration where we can add has role, for example admin we can provide and permit them. Then she has asked how JWT work in Spring security, and she has asked why functional interfaces are required, and she has asked how we can test our application in the Spring Boot. And at last she has asked what is the difference between post and put. Hope you guys find this useful. So this is for custom software engineer final interview they have mentioned, but for me it was again a skill 2 round. I guess it's the managerial round. So yeah, hope you guys can find it helpful.